Today, let us practice bold watercolors with big brushes. There are many advantages of using big brushes. First being that it forces simplicity. Big brushes makes it difficult to get caught up in tiny details. You can do bold brushworks because the large brushes hold more water and pigment. It allows to make sweeping, confident brushworks. It improves efficiency because it covers larger areas quickly, making it easier to paint backgrounds, skies, etc. We will see that in the painting demonstration later. And it builds confidence. By practicing with the big brushes, you learn to trust your instincts and make intentional marks, uh, giving sense of control and fearlessness in your brushworks. It promotes economy of details because we have to restrict the amount of details. With big brushes we can't do that. Having said all those things, let us put it into practice. Here I am I have picked up a simple subject which I have painted a couple of times earlier, because the focus now is not making it attractive or picking attractive subject, etc. Simple subject, but make it bold and confident by using big brush. So I have wetted the paper fairly up to maybe 75%, and I am making very quick large brushworks to suggest some clouds in the sky. See, with the large brushes, we can cover larger areas very quickly. Okay, now with uh, again with the same brush, let us make a large, maybe a water body. Here we are going to paint a boat scene with suggestive sky and suggestive water. Everything is suggestive, simplified, because with bold big brushes our primary focus is to make it simple, paint it quickly and with confidence. So here, I encourage you to pick up the biggest brush that you have and try to paint it just using that single biggest brush. And it is a good idea to pick up that big brush with which is having uh, a good, good size and a good tip, because for some of the suggestion of the details we need good point. Another challenge that you may have here is that being the mop brushes being very soft, it may not retain the shape when you apply the brushwork. So it may get bent as I have shown you now, and you may have to manage with the softness of the brush many times. Okay, right now I'm going to give uh, define the elements in water. We have done the sky, we have done the water, and now I wanted to suggest a big board using the tip of the brush, the side of the brush, because you have to manage some smaller brushworks as well as larger brushworks with a single big brush. So that forces you to kind of compromise on the details, compromise on some of the precision aspect of it, and then apply the brushworks with more and more confidence. Okay. Now here I wanted to suggest some of the darker details using the tip of the brush, and we need some control. So it is good to practice all these different way of applying brushworks using the various part of the brushes, like the tip of the brush, the belly of the brush, etc. Okay. Now this is fine, and this is sufficient for the boat. For the basic shape of the boat, this is sufficient enough. And let us now suggest very boldly, let us suggest the reflections. And here, wherever you need finer edges, you use the tip of the brush, and wherever you need little larger shapes, you can use the side of the brush. Okay, so I'm just trying to get it defined to whichever extent possible with a big brush. Okay, don't worry about the precisions. Okay, right. We could do the reflection much better way if you want to go for more realistic approach, but this approach is something different. As I told, make it simple, make it bold, and ma- look, make it appear very confident. Okay, right? These are some of the ripples away from the boat, and I think this is enough for the ripples. Okay, now let us suggest some figures. And painting figures with big brush could be a challenge, because painting figures is often challenge with smaller brush. When you add to that the limitations of big brushes, then it becomes much more challenging. But try to do that. You don't need precision. Okay, so here this figure is, I'm trying to suggest some action for this, but it is not precise. But that is sufficient. It is having some kind of action, some kind of a movement. That is what we are trying going to suggest. And I'm struggling a little bit to get some of these shapes, but this is the way I prefer to practice. Okay, so I encourage you to practice these things. And even if things don't come good, don't worry. You may need a lot of practice to get it done. And once you are able to use uh, these big brushes in a much more intricate way, uh, I'm sure that you will more often pick the big brushes for your future works, and you will see that your future works are getting finished in a much more shorter time, and your brushworks are going to look more and more confident and authentic. Yeah, maybe here I'm suggesting a couple of figures, smaller figures. They are sitting probably. Okay, I think this is sufficient enough. Okay, we don't need to be very precise. See, the viewer's brain will fill up the gaps. Okay, you don't need to precisely tell each and every aspect of the shapes, the forms, etc. You can leave a lot of things suggested. You can leave a lot of things blank, and the viewers will try to fill it up. In fact, this kind of representation will engage the viewers' uh, mind more effectively, because uh, everything is not uh, well well told. Okay, well mentioned. Some of the things that the viewers mind will kind of fill it up. Okay, some dry brush works, vertical lines, horizontal lines, everything done with the same brush. So for your information, here I am using a number 12 size mop brush, and the brand that I am using is called Stationery, an Indian brand. uh, but you can use any big brush, any big mop brush or big round brush with what do you call it as a good point. Okay, so for these tiny suggestions, I'm slowing it down so that it is much more clear. The approach is much more clear to you. See, if you have seen my tutorials, video tutorials, you can see that this specific subject I have painted a couple of times. There are many tutorials, but here I am picking the same simple subject because the objective is to do everything with big brush, single brush, so that that can give more and more confidence and the boldness to your watercolor works. Here I am going to make very tiny, intricate touches for the exposed body part, and this ideally I pick up a small round brush for these kind of brush marks. But here I wanted to try it with the same big brush, number 12 mop brush. Okay. See, the number, the size of the brushes may vary from manufacturer to manufacturer, brand to brand. So the brush that I'm using is reasonably big, and it has an imitation squirrel hair. Okay, fine. This is good. It is not very precise, but I'm pretty happy with how it turns out. And I think we can treat it as done. The main objective of this particular tutorial is already met. So little bit of I mean refining touches here and there, maybe something that I am going for now. Most of the objective is already done. Okay, so some refinement. So then whether we need to go for this refinement or not is your choice. Okay, so I usually go for bold, the big shapes I make it bold, And for the tiny details, I make it suggestive, and I give reasonable amount of uh, uh, touches here and there, so that while being suggestive, it is little interesting also. There are some contrast. These whites highlights will give some contrast, and if you are conventional watercolorist, don't want to use white, you can avoid this step. Okay, I think we are pretty much done. Please do practice this kind of using this kind of bold and big brushes. Okay, use practice using big brushes. Go for bold brushworks, and compromise on details. And over a period of time, when you practice it more and more, you will learn how to suggestively define the elements, and make your watercolors look bold and confident. So if you like this video, please do subscribe to my channel and press the bell notification. Please do share this to your artist friends, and so that they also can take benefit out of this. And if you have any questions, comments, or feedback, write them into the comment box below. I'll be more than happy to come out with answers to your questions and suggestions as early as possible. So once again, thank you for watching this video, and we'll soon see you with another interesting tutorial. Happy painting, and bye bye.